isolate the virus. Then we take out the protein of interest and we put it into gel electrophoresis to figure out the size and type of the protein. To our experiment, we hypothesized that DOCK2B protein levels will change depending on which cell tissue or cell lines react to the most to calcium levels. So if there's a lot of DOCK2B present in a cell tissue or cell line, the protein levels will increase or be higher than if DOCK2B was less present, which will have less protein levels. This method, or we used Western blotting to figure out the protein levels.
This graph shows the protein levels according to the calcium changes within a cell. So as we can see, the kidney is way larger. So that means that the protein levels in the kidney or cell line of the kidney is way more than the liver. And the reason why there's none in the lung or heart is because they don't react to calcium changes. So that means that they don't need DOCK2B. And the example below is a kidney cell line that shows, if you could see very closely, are little blue dots, and those signify DOCK2B.
PCR has three important phases. The first phase is called denaturing. During this phase, the template DNA is split into single strands in order to prepare for replication. In the second phase, annealing, primers are binded to the DNA strands. And finally, in the last phase, extension, a DNA polymerase, like for example, Taq polymerase, which is used because it's heat resistant, uses free nucleotides to replicate the DNA strand.
What is the impact of the Foldscope? Well, the mission statement of the creators is they really wanted to increase interest in microscopy as a field and provide an accessible, affordable, easy to operate alternative for people who may not have either access to any equipment or any opportunity to get into microscopy. The Foldscope allows anyone anywhere to collect samples and view them on a microscopic level. And on the right, that's a technical school in India using it, and on the bottom is a school classroom in Tanzania, I believe.
As you saw earlier, you know what a Foldscope is. However, you're probably wondering how it works. Here in our first image, we have our Foldscope before it is fully assembled. After assembling our Foldscope, it will look like the bottom image. Next, we will load microscope slides onto the Foldscope. We can either use the preloaded slides that came with the Foldscope kit, or alternatively, they provide us with little plastic slides with a sectioned off transparent area. This allows us to collect any sample from strands of hair to blades of grass. This is especially helpful in citizen science, as we saw earlier, because it helps people to determine the safety and quality of the environment around them.
And then the one at the law firm. So the one at the law firm has been very challenging because it's basically just working with a lot of files and paperwork. So it's like you're having like a big stack of papers from like could be this big to over like this, and it's just many stacks that you have to go through and then just go on computers and then look up each case for each paper. So it's very challenging on that part. And then just keeping up with like the work, it's like a lot, but it's a very good internship for me because I personally want to go through that field. So with the Ryan Law Firm, they've offered me a lot of experience with how the outside world really is through the lens of like criminal cases and like civil cases and probates and all that. And then just learning the difference between like a pleading or a discovery and like correspondence and expenses. It just goes on to many more than just like sitting down on a computer and like just doing paperwork. It's like more than that. And then I think soon they'll probably be taking me to like an actual court case. So that should be interesting. And then my other internship, I'm here with the city of Azusa. And right now we just wrapped up the last day of the summer day camp, which I've been working with little kids. And then that's been challenging, but it's been super fun because it has allowed me to become more patient with myself and like other people, and then gain a lot of skills with working with a lot of people and different people. And then just being able to be around like the kids has helped me become more confident and become more of a leader. And it just makes me kind of feel old too, because they call me like teacher, like miss, and like literally they've made me like stuff like this for the last day. So I thought that was kind of cute. And so with that, it's like also helping me become more creative, because like we're working with like paper animals and stuff like that and making these arts and crafts. So I just thought that was like really cute. And it's just like overall, I'm not just with the day camp, I'm also working with Mighty Mites, which is like a basketball team. So they're just like little kids, and I'm just teaching them how to play basketball alongside with like other side coordinators. And then I'm also learning how to do like concerts and just assist here at the park however I can. So that has been very stressful, but it's helping me become more manageable with my time and just be able to open myself up to like new opportunities. So yeah, thank you.
I believe it's 9 cameras. And 3 of them are infrared, 3 of them are just normal cameras, and 3 of them are like laser cameras. And it uses triangulation from the positions of the different cameras to find out the distances between objects. So if I wanted to say, figure out how long this table was, I would zoom in right here. So it's a 4-foot table just from this scan, and I can get pretty much any measurement in the room just from right here, the site. So it's really useful for if you want to model something 3D. You could model a building. Generally with cameras, it's going to be a building, but you could model just any walkable space in theory. And it's just a really flexible thing. And I think it's important to be able to visualize ideas and concepts, especially to a team of people, because that's one of the most priceless skills that a person can have on a team. And most people don't even know that they need it. So basically we got, this is just one page, but I ended up getting the entire set of blueprints. So we basically just took this drawing, and what you can do is you can import it into SketchUp, which I did here, and then I scaled it to the right size. Basically just traced all the walls up, and then we got to this stage. So this is an apartment complex with so it's not all one house, I guess you could say. It's 4 different units, but I basically traced the walls up, added some color, added appliances, so kitchens, all the kitchen appliances, fridges, stoves, stove hoods, cabinets, things like that. Doors in the doorways. Some bedroom appliances, beds, desks, tables, chairs, nightstands, and then all the bathroom appliances. The building hasn't even been built yet, so just taking this and being able to make a representation of what it could look like when it's finished based off of just the blueprints is really nice. So if you want to sell the apartment to a client, you can give them a virtual tour.
My name is Benson Manzano. I'm an upcoming senior at Gladstone High School, and yeah, I had my internship this summer at the Coders School Pasadena. So this is my presentation on basically on this whole internship experience. So this was actually my first internship, which was like really cool because I remember during sophomore year, I always wanted to do an internship because I wanted to have that work experience. But now given this opportunity, thank you to Miss Full and her team, and also Mr. Pasquale and Mrs. Chang over there at the Coder School. They gave me this opportunity, so I'm really grateful. Thank you. So the internship. So what did we do? So for me, for my objectives, one thing that I did was that I helped animate the camps for the kids. The kids would usually do a lot of lessons. It would be a whole week lesson about certain coding languages, right? Sometimes we may go over Lua, which is in Roblox, which is a very famous game. C++, which uses Arduino boards. Python, which is a very common coding language, and Scratch, which is also one of the beginner sets for coding languages. And I'll go ahead and share some examples later. But another thing that I did was I shadow coached both online and in person. So I was also part of helping the kids in teaching them on what this is and just helping the coach as well, and just teaching these languages mentioned right here. So what I learned, one of the big skills that I learned from this experience was patience. Now, of course, kids can sometimes be a handful, right? They need to, sometimes they might be a little bit impatient. They might not get the what we're telling them, they might not get it like straight away, and that's okay, right? So it's really important to make sure that you have patience and understanding for these kids, to have empathy, to really make sure that you are getting your point across and what you want to share with them. With that, I also learned some interpersonal skills with some kids, making sure like understanding like how kids necessarily think and how to make sure that they are having fun, and also help them when they're feeling a little bit more frustrated.